It's a high, deep drive into left field, and this ball is long gone. Safe, he got under the tag.
One hop the wall and it lands for a double.
Want to ride into deep left field, and this ball is gone. Falmouth is going to the Western Division.
Hello and welcome to the Falmouth Commodores pregame show. I'm Danny LaRose. He's Max Trink. My usual partner, David Korzenowski, has the night off tonight. So Max Trink, our web reporter, stepping up, doing some color commentary for us and here on the pregame show. So glad to have Max. And as we look back at what transpired the last couple of days, yesterday, the Falmouth Commodores and the Chatham Anglers, the only game on the Cape that was rained out. It was about a 15-minute thunderstorm that just completely washed out the field. And somehow it didn't hit any other town in Massachusetts. So it is what it is, Max, I guess. We just continue dealing with the weather.
Rainouts are just a natural thing here in Falmouth.
Natural occurrence. Yeah. But 2 nights ago in Bourne, Falmouth got off of a 3-game schneid. They won 3-0. It was a pretty all-around game and win for the Commodores.
Yeah, and it's so weird because the hitting got off to it early, but it really wasn't consistent throughout the entire game. It did just the job that the Commodores really needed, and from that point, the pitching really held it down. It was the first game since June 23rd that the Commodores did not commit a single error, so it was defensively great, and the bullpen really helped out Franco Aleman, who had one of his best starts throughout the entire year.
Aleman got the victory. He went 6 strong, followed up by Robbie Ahlstrom, and then Zach Brixey. Zach Brixey, 3 appearances, 3 saves. Our own Katie Florio is talking with the Virginia Tech Hokie to talk about his awesome job.
Oh boy.
Thank you, Katie and Zach. So speaking of pitching, team coming into Falmouth tonight, the Orleans Firebirds, they are top of the Cape in team ERA. They are a very solid pitching squad going up against this Commodores offense. Like we said, not all the best at hitting.
Yeah, and really just, it's surprising to me because they really pitch to the contact. They're in the bottom 3 when it comes to strikeouts, but their ERA, the best in the entire Cape League. They have such great pitchers, and you know what? Tonight, the Commodores bats really needed to get going, especially with men on base, because it seems like it's been struggling, even with bases loaded in the game before. You know, they had bases loaded, they grounded in double play, that did get 1 run. But they weren't able to capitalize anywhere further. So really, they've been struggling with men on base. They really need to focus on that going into this game.
So Doors looking to score with runners in scoring position, and meanwhile on the Falmouth side on the bump, another great pitcher. Their pitching as a team pales in comparison to Orleans. I mean, Orleans, the sub-3, Falmouth with a +4 team ERA, but Carmen Majinski is fantastic. He's got great stuff, but he's only made 1 appearance on the season because his second appearance was rained out after 1 inning.
Rained out or hailed out? Because it was, he only threw 2 pitches going into that start. It seems like he's very excited to get back out on the bump, but we'll see what he can do, especially with an elongated period of rest, and the Commodores really need him today. They need a great start, especially with this Orleans pitching that has been so good throughout the entire year.
So Majinski, his long-awaited second start is coming up at 6 p.m. for first pitch. So for Max Trink, for Katie Florio, I'm Daniel LaRose, and we'll see you very soon.
Hello and welcome into the broadcast booth here at Gov Fuller Field. I'm Daniel LaRose. That's Max Trink, not David Korzenowski. If you were watching our pregame show, you'll know that David has shifted a seat over to the right. He's going to be writing our post-game article, so be sure to berate him in the comments when that thing is published. Meanwhile, Max, our normal web reporter, is going to be by my side for color. Max, you excited?
I'm very excited, and actually me and Danny go to the same school, University of Miami. We've never actually broadcasted a game together, so this is our first game ever. I'm very excited for this, and I'm very excited to be in the booth.
Well, the Doors are very excited to finally be playing the Orleans Firebirds. This game was initially scheduled for about, a week and a half ago, back in mid-June, in early second week of the season. It was canceled, of course, because rain, why not? And now they're finally getting that underway on the first day of July, July 1, Orleans taking the hour-and-a-half trip out from the furthest eastern spot on the Cape to the furthest southwestern spot on the Cape out to Falmouth. And we're going to see a pretty good matchup, I think, on the pitching mound, given how Orleans, their team ERA, top in the Cape League, and Carmen Majinski being on the bump for Falmouth.
And as I touched a little bit in the pregame show, you're going to see a lot of contact when it comes to both sides. Carmen Majinski, not really a strikeout pitcher compared to the other guys on this roster. And same thing with Orleans. Orleans in the bottom half when it comes to strikeouts on the year. And they've been just so good pitching-wise, but they've been getting ground balls, flyouts. That's the way that they're getting their outs. And that pitching staff is so lethal when it comes to any lineup. And the Commodores' bats just haven't been perfect like they usually are.
Firebirds have been red hot as well. Orleans currently on a 3-game win streak. That is tops in the Cape League. They now sit at first place in the Eastern Division, 9 wins, 4 losses, 2 ties. That's good for a total of 20 points. That's tops in the Cape as a whole. Meanwhile, Falmouth sitting at 3rd place in the Western Division, 5 wins, 6 losses, 1 tie. That's 11 points. Also granted, Falmouth have played less games than everybody else has on the Cape. But again, in the early season, it's looking like Orleans and that pitching staff is really carrying them pretty far.
Yeah, and they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the Cape right now. So it doesn't come at the best time that the Commodores are really going to be playing them. But if you think about it, Commodores only played 12 games. Now we're in this long stretch of games throughout the entire month of July, and they need to make up for it. And yes, this was supposed to be an off day, but they got to take advantage of this opportunity that they have in front of them.
So we'll walk you through the lineups for Orleans first. They'll be hitting first on the road here at Gov Fuller Field. They're led off by Zach Kokoska, the center fielder. Following him, another Zach Britton playing right field. Batting third, Max Troiani out in left. Matt Goodhart batting cleanup and designated hitting. Raymond Gill, Miami Hurricane just like us two, playing first base and batting fifth. Tanner Murray batting sixth, playing the hot corner. Eddie McCabe over at short after Murray. He's followed by David Avidia at catcher, and Josh Zamora will round out the order, batting ninth and playing second base. One guy to highlight yet again, Raymond Gill. He's on a pretty lengthy hit streak right now at 7 games, and he's batting well over 300. Been red hot for Orleans to start the season.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what Gill could do. Usually not a first baseman at Miami. Usually plays a lot of third base, so a little bit of a position switch for him, but he's been taking advantage of his opportunities here in Orleans at first base, and he's been so dominant, as you said, the 7-game hit streak. That's so huge. Another guy that I wanted to highlight, Matt Goodhart, batting .345 with 5 home runs and 16 doubles with Arkansas this past year. So, just really he's one of the best players on there, probably the best hitter that they had. So another guy to look out for, especially since Arkansas just was in the College World Series. Now they just got back, and he's finally getting his first couple of reps here in the Cape.
It's been so far so good for Goodhart, as now the Commodores take the field in their pearly home whites on this Monday evening in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Towing the rubber is one Carmen Majinski, the 6'2", 215-pounder from the University of South Carolina, has made 1 appearance on the season so far, and that's because June 14th against Hyannis, he made his appearance. He was supposed to make an appearance a week later against Wareham. That game ended up getting rained out. We played only half of 1 inning, played the top half of the first. Majinski threw 2 pitches, and then hail came and washed us out. He was supposed to pitch yesterday against Chatham. Of course, that game gets rained out, bumped over to today goes Majinski. And in his first start, not the prettiest numbers, went 4 1/3 against Hyannis, eventually a 9-9 tie, so he got no decision. 3 runs, all of them earned, 2 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, and that's what I want to capitalize on Majinski is the 7 strikeouts. His stuff was on fire that night.
And just to think, he had 3 months where he didn't play at all due to a foot injury, and now he's back and has been dominating so far for Falmouth. And another thing I wanted to highlight as well, the strikeout numbers are great, but he didn't really know his catcher, Troy Claunch, that well Claunch just recently came in at that time with all the other with all the other guys in the Pac-12. So it really just they got to know each other a little bit better, and it seems like that could be an advantage for Carmen, especially against what originally was the Wareham game, now against Orleans, where they have a lot more chemistry and they know each other a little bit better through bullpen sessions and throwing and whatnot.
So we'll see if Majinski can improve on those already pretty stellar numbers with Claunch as his battery mate yet again. We have thrown down to second. We have sung the national anthem, gone through all the pregame rituals, and are just about ready for baseball here in Falmouth. Leading off, as I mentioned, Zach Kokoska for the Orleans Firebirds, batting from the left side. Majinski, a right-hander, as I mentioned, from the University of South Carolina. Team projected to perhaps be in the talk for the postseason. Got an early exit, didn't make it, so that's why he's been on the Cape all summer long as he fires the first pitch ball to start us off at 6:04 p.m. Kokoska from Pennsylvania plays his baseball at Kansas State. Swings at this one, grounds it towards the right side. Cantrell on a forehand gets there in the nick of time to toss it over to first base. Great play by Hayden Cantrell to kick us off.
And you just can't beat the athleticism of Hayden Cantrell right now. Not only is he so great when it comes down to his hitting ability, and he's been tearing it up, but his defense, his leadership on the defensive end has been so crucial for these Commodores.
Now steps in Zach Britton, the rising junior at the University of Louisville. Originally from Batesville, Indiana. First pitch he sees from Majinski, taken too far inside, ball one. Britton playing right field tonight, but he is normally a catcher. Ranked as the #1 catcher out of the state of Indiana, coming out of high school by perfect game. 1-0, he slices foul.
And no, this is not the same Yankees pitcher or Orioles pitcher, however you remember of it, as Zach Britton, but same spelling and everything.
That threw me for a loop at first. So I know this guy. 1-1 count to Britton. Majinski rocks and fires. Slider, it looks like that breaks too far outside. Carmen is coming off of a 2019 where he didn't get too much action thanks to an injury. He's been injured last couple of years. 2-1, grounded sharply towards Langworthy at first, and the natural right fielder fields it perfectly. Flip on to the pitcher in time. It's back-to-back groundouts to the right side to start us off.
Langworthy also does a little bit of pitching, but right there showing his glove off at first base. Great job fielding that grounder, and even better job of Majinski getting to first base. You know, that play is much more difficult than people actually anticipate or think of it.
Here is Max Troiani from Bentley University, but he has been tearing things up with Orleans. First pitch he sees is a breaking ball at the knees for strike #1. Was mentioning how Majinski this past season was injury-ridden. Well, he only pitched 10 2/3 innings pitched because of that injury, and he was supposed to be a Commodore last summer, had a foot injury, so that tapped him out for the entire summer. Troiani, on the other hand, batting third for a reason. He is batting .346 with 7 RBIs already on the summer. Beautiful breaking ball, paints the inside black.
And a teammate of former Commodore Ryan Berardino, who did get cut earlier in the year by the Commodores, but Troiani just being able to stay throughout the year.
Thanks to his hitting, gotta be, because again, he has emerged as the best Firebird hitter, and I don't think anybody expected it. You've got guys from Louisville, you've got guys from Miami, you've got guys from, every Power 5 school you can think of, and then it turns out to be Troiani who's the one who's leading the team. Three balls, 2 strikes now the count to Troiani with nobody on and 2 out. Majinski trying to work a 1-2-3 inning to start the ball game. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball grounded foul.
Troiani doing a great job of staying alive, and you can see the reason why he's been so, one of the best hitters in the Cape, just being able to face these D1 guys so well.
Payoff pitch yet again. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Fastball that Majinski ramped up to the letters, and Troiani could not catch up. to Majinski's heater. 1-2-3 go the Firebirds in the first. We will head to the home half of the first, 0-0 the score on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. On your screen right now, the starting lineup for the Commodores. They're led off by Hayden Cantrell, the second baseman, followed by Blake Dunn, the right fielder. Tim Tawa after him. Troy Clonch batting cleanup and doing the catching. Zach DeLoach out in left field, batting fifth. Stephen Moretto playing third base, batting sixth. Austin Langworthy in the lineup for back-to-back games. He's at first base. Barron Radcliffe follows him, the designated hitter. And Kevin Kendall, yet again, 5 games played now for Falmouth and 5 straight starts at the 9-hole, but he's been pretty good.
And one thing about Kevin Kendall is I thought he would move up in the lineup when Trey Cruz was out of the lineup, and Trey Cruz getting a day off today. But you know what? You don't break what isn't broken, right? He's been just hitting so well from the bottom of the lineup, and you know what? Just might as well. It works.
Hayden Cantrell said just the same thing back in Bourne. He said he likes being at the leadoff position right there in the 1-hole, and I'm sure Jeff Trundy would say the same thing, saying don't fix what ain't broke. Guy's been hitting so well, might as well keep him there. Hayden, who did go 0 against Bourne, was leading the team and the Cape in batting average previous to that Saturday game, pardon me. He watches a first pitch ball miss outside by Noah Skiro, right-handed pitcher out of Liberty University. That's down in Virginia. 1-0 to Hayden, taken upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Skiro, we mentioned, from Liberty, originally from Stony Creek, Canada. Happy Canada Day to Noah and all the Canadians.
And Stephen Moretto. He's also in the lineup.
Stephen Moretto. Noah pitched this past season to the tune of a 3.76 ERA as he fires a fastball right on the outside black. He was a starter for Liberty. Great ERA, but a poor record at 5-6. 35 walks and 98 strikeouts in only 76 2/3 innings pitched. That's 11.5 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Wow.
Impressive.
That is impressive. That's the reason why he's here, right?
And it's a reason why the Liberty pitching coach just got picked up to be the UNC pitching coach. Moving on up to a Power 5 team. 3-2 fastball ramped up high, and he strikes out Hayden Cantrell. So speak of the devil, Noah Skiro picking up right where he left off from the spring season.
And that fastball high is such a good pitch because a lot of aggressive hitters like Cantrell, who's been getting on base recently, really go for that. They want to just make contact and get on base. And when they see a pitch high up, they're like, oh, I can hit my 4th home run of the year. It turns out to be a strikeout.
Now it'll be Blake Dunn from Western Michigan. Shows bunt, pops it way up in the air right above us. Couldn't get that one down, and if he did, it would have been an easy out.
I've never seen a bunt go that high. I've never seen a bunt go all the way to the backstop.
Went all the way up to the highest part of the top of the backstop. Blake Dunn working on a pretty good stretch so far. He's got 3 hits in his last 2 games played. Takes a slider that looked like it missed pretty far outside, but it's called a strike. Home plate umpire Tim Carey making that call. At first base is Rick Emerson. Third base, Ryan DeMari. 0-2 on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Takes only 3 pitches for Skiro to put down Blake Dunn with a couple of nasty sliders.
And Skiro just dominating this lineup already. 2 strikeouts for a team that doesn't really rely on strikeouts, and it made these Falmouth bats look a little silly right now.
Skiro so far does have 8 strikeouts through 2 appearances, total of 7 innings pitched. His first time out was a 2-1 loss at Bourne on June 16th as he fires a first pitch ball to Tim Tawa. He threw 4 innings of work, allowed 1 run, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. Then in his next outing, 3 innings, only racked up the 1 strikeout but no runs. Quickly 2-0 now to Tim Tawa. Same count that Hayden Cantrell got ahead on before he ended up striking out. Tawa from Stanford watches another pitch sit high now. 3 balls, no strikes to the Cardinal, batting 187 for the summer.
Especially when you're batting 187 on the year so far, it's good to maybe take some pitches, especially if they've been out of the zone a little bit.
He's gotten ahead so far to the 3-0. Fastball right down Broadway. That'll make it 3-1. Tawa has hits in back-to-back games, has RBIs in back-to-back games as well. Fouls one away to make the count full. So despite a slow start to the summer, Tim is kind of starting to get the feel of things, putting a couple better swings together. Usually what happens for guys on the Cape as they adjust to the wood bat, adjust to the umpires and the pitchers. 3-2 pitch is wasted away.
And don't forget, the pitchers do get tired.
Yeah.
It's not like these arms are going to be so effective forever. Once these guys get close to their innings limits, and you know what happens is the arm just starts to get tired. And from there, batters take advantage.
Here's the payoff pitch yet again. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Went back to the fastball. Kept it belt high. But Tawa couldn't come up with anything. Starting off the game, it has been all pitching, and Noah Skiro strikes at the side in the home half of the first. We head to the top of the second. 0-0 your score on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Down went the Birds 1-2-3 in the first. Down went the Commodores 1-2-3 in the first. Carmen Bajinski will toe the rubber yet again. He'll face 4, 5, and 6. Goodhart, Gill, and Murray for the Birds. Goodhart, the designated hitter from the University of Arkansas. Transfer from San Jac at San Jacinto Community College. It's pretty good there in his 2018 campaign. He hit .355, was 5th in the nation in JUCO with runs scored at 55. 0-1 paints the outside corner. Majinski has him down to the count. Goodhart in 2019 batted .345, 16 doubles, 5 home runs, 47 RBIs, just immediately emerged as one of the best Razorback hitters. He watches an 0-2 fastball sail outside. Majinski only with the 1K to cap off the first inning. His counterpart Skiro with 3 already. Carmen's 1-2. Breaking ball that's clubbed over towards Cantrell at second. He gets there in time. Throw on to first. And it's now 3 ground outs for the first 4 outs of the ballgame.
Same way that you started off the first inning, a ground out to Hayden Cantrell, and really seems like Carmen's using those off-speed pitches to get those ground balls and doing an effective job with that.
Franco Aleman was very effective by getting a lot of ground balls in his outing against Bourne. That ended up being a 6 innings of work, got the win en route to a shutout 3-0 over the Braves. Only 2 of the outs that weren't strikeouts or groundouts ended up in the air. First pitch swinging is Raymond Gill, fouls one off. Gill, the native of Miami, Florida, plays his baseball in Miami with the Hurricanes. Coming off of a 2019 where he was all ACC third team. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball right side, that one foul yet again. So the count quickly, no balls to 2 strikes to the first baseman for the Firebirds.
And now with the transfer of Willie Escala at Miami, it seems like Raymond Gill will be heading into the lineup consistently. He was pretty much consistently in the lineup, but he will permanently have that third base spot.
Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball just a little bit high. 1-2 goes to the count. Gill was not expected to be the starting third baseman down in Coral Gables. They had actually a Scala start opening day back in February. All of a sudden, Gill just started hitting the cover off the baseball, and he was there every day since. Just barely hits that baseball, tips it right below the glove of Claunch, who couldn't squeeze it, so he'll get another chance.
Yeah, it was shocking at first. He did have an injury from summer ball season before, and they wanted to slowly bring him in, and then they just immediately put him in the second game, and from there, like you said, he was tearing the cover off the ball.
He was a Harwich Mariner last year, but only lasted a couple of weeks with them. Here's the 1-2 yet again. Ground ball towards Austin Langworthy. He takes a funky hop, but another underhand flip over towards Carmen Majinski. And look at that. First inning and second inning mirroring each other right now through the first 5 outs.
I'm going to predict a strikeout here. A strikeout swing. Because that's exactly, like if you look at the scorecard, it's exactly the same.
Tanner Murray will be the hitter, looking to not strike out swinging. From UC Davis, originally from Boulder Creek, California. Rising junior, playing third base tonight. Gill's typical position. First pitch he sees from Majinski. He grounds over towards his third base counterpart, Steven Moretto. It's a fair ball. Throw from Moretto on the run. Beauty. Steven Moretto making his country proud on his country's day with a fantastic 5-3 putout to retire the side in the second. We will head to the home half of the second. Still 0-0 your score.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Welcome back to the Gov as we kick off the bottom of the second inning. So far it's been all pitching. Nobody has reached base yet. As Troy Claunch is going to try to break that trend. Cleanup hitter for the Commodores, doing the catching for Carmen Majinski. Claunch from Oregon State University. Been pretty effective recently. He started his summer off pretty poorly. Game 1 went 0 for 4, had a bunch of Ks as well. Since then, he's been 3 for 7. First pitch to Clonch, high fastball that he swings right through. This fastball from Skiro just got some jump to it.
Yeah, like you said, it's just so effective at the plate, and that's why he's had 3 strikeouts so far in the game. But Troy Clonch, last time he was out there, had an RBI for himself that got erased against Wareham when Majinski was starting last time.
0-2 now the count. That was supposed to be Clonch's very first game played. He got that RBI, like you mentioned, came with 2 outs. Majinski went on the rubber, and then the rain came. So Clonch's first game ended up being the next day when he went 0 for 4. Now the count 1-2 after that ball misses outside. His last game against Yarmouth Dennis, he was pretty good. Went 2 for 4 on that Saturday afternoon game out at Red Wilson Field. Falmouth ended up dropping it 4-3. Skiro's 1-2. Breaking ball chopped towards the left side. Fielded on a backhand beautifully, and the throw on to first in plenty of time. How about that from Tanner Murray, doing his best Steven Moretto impression?
Who is doing his best Nolan Arenado impression for sure. But a great play right over there. Back-to-back great plays at third base. And you know what? It's just a strong defensive game so far.
Zach Deloach now will step up to the plate, left fielder from Texas A&M. Deloach has emerged as an everyday outfielder, even though there's a bevy of outfielders in this Falmouth roster. First pitch to Deloach, he swings and misses. We got Jackson Coots, who's a corner outfielder, Baron Radcliffe, who's a corner outfielder, Austin Mazel, who's a corner outfielder. All 3 of them not playing in the field. Baron, of course, in the lineup, but at DH. Here's the 0-1, just a tad low.
And here's the thing. The Commodores don't have a first baseman, like a set first baseman. You see Jackson Coots go in there, Tyler Ross, Baron Radcliffe, but they really need to establish that before they can establish all their outfielders.
Tonight we're seeing Austin Langworthy, another corner outfielder. Well, he plays a good amount of center field as well, but he's playing first base. So it's basically first base by committee, seeing who is going to be the most effective there. And Barron and Austin so far have been perfect in the field at first. 2-1. Now make it 3-1 after that pitch misses low. So Deloach gets himself into a comfortable hitter's count.
But Danny, going back to the first base comment, the thing with Baron Radcliffe is that he is 6 foot plus. And Austin Langworthy is 5'10".
True. 3-1 fastball just below the knees, and that's it. That's our first base runner of the ball game. Deloach works a walk. Skiro throws 5 pitches, and the first one was great. The next 4 were not so much. Zach's going to be on first, and Steven Moretto, who capped off the second inning with a fantastic fielding play, will come up to the plate. You mentioned how Steven works on that type of play he made in the field during practice.
Yeah, and he was going to Brett Becker and Ryan Eiley. They were just talking to each other, and they said he wanted the extra work at third base. It was his dream to play here in the Cape, and he says that every single time that he can try and go on the field and do extra work, he will take that opportunity because he's only here to get better.
Well, there's a reason why his glove has been so flashy when he's been at third base. Constantly working at it. Got a 1-0 count right now against Skiro. Deloach is going to get checked on over at first. His hitting has not really lived up to the example that his glove has. He's only 1 for his last 13 is Moretto. 4 strikeouts in that span as well, and a 156 average to boot. Skiro from the stretch for the first time. Again, he's going to check on Zach Deloach, and probably a smart idea. This Falmouth team leads the Cape in stolen bases despite playing the least games, and they run maybe 4 or 5 times a game, if not more. Deloach with a sizable lead off first. He is not going. The pitch comes home. Not even a check swing, a little bit less than that, but it still hits Moretto's bat and goes foul.
And not to put it in a shameless plug here, but today I did put on the Commodores blog a new article, a feature story on Steven Moretto and his heritage, his Canadian heritage, talking about Canada Day and the way that he loves his country and the way that he's opened up the opportunities for other Canadian players to be in the league.
Max, plug away. Go check it out on the Commodores blog over at the Commodores Corner on the Falmouth Commodores website. You can go check it out. Just dropped today. Max dropped his new mixtape. That is the article about Steven Moretto, being that a Canadian baseball player, only one of, 5 here on the Cape?
Yeah, there's 4.
4.
3 of them are between these 2 teams.
Pickoff move over to first yet again, nothing doing. 2 of them are going at each other right now. Skiro from Ontario, Moretto from British Columbia, challenging each other right now with the count 1-2 in favor of Skiro. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled away.
And another thing that I found shocking that when I was writing this article was that do you know how many Canadian baseball players there are currently active on a roster?
I think you guys said 8.
There's only 8.
Insane. A couple years ago, you remember Jason Bay. He's a Canadian baseball player. Was a pretty good player for both the Red Sox and the Pirates. Not too many that you could speak of these days. Maybe Vladdy Jr. counts.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of people, even Steven, when I was talking about it a little bit, Steven was shocked that he was a Canadian. He forgot about it.
Right, yeah, because his dad was playing with Montreal
Yeah.
when Vladdy Jr. was born. Now Vladdy Jr. playing in the Great White North with the Blue Jays. Moretto himself, a Sox fan.
Huge Red Sox fan, and Fenway Day was so big for Steven Moretto.
1-2, he lifts into center field. That one's falling fast, and that will drop just in front of Kokoska out in center field. He was already playing pretty shallow, and still Moretto is able to poke one ahead of him. That's only his 6th hit of the summer, but it'll get the job done. There are now runners on first and second and only one out.
He's able to loop it in there, in that little gap, that triangle over there, and you know what? Any hit is a hit, right?
Right.
No matter what, it will go down as a single in the scorecard, so good job by Steven Moretto by getting contact and, just being able to get on base.
Now comes Austin Langworthy, who would love to get on base himself. First pitch to the lefty from the University of Florida is fouled back. Reason I say that is because over 1/3 of Austin's at-bats result in strikeouts so far this summer.
And, I mean, the 148 average has just not been the best stuff from Langworthy. And this is his 3rd season on the Cape, so it's not like he's never swung a wood bat before.
Usually gets off to slow starts when he's on the Cape and then heats up come July. Well, it is July 1st as he faces a 1-1 count. Same thing happened last year. I mentioned it on the broadcast when we were out in Bourne, but he only had a 206 average. I think people forget that, but again, he had 7 home runs, all coming in the span of about a week or 10 days. So pretty much erased that fact. He still impressed many fans. 1-1 is cut on and missed.
And you can't forget that he was supposed to be drafted. He thought he was going to go in the MLB draft and make a roster, and he didn't. So out of nowhere, he decided to come back, play some summer ball in the Cape. He's going to get his degree at Florida, and but he wasn't expecting to be facing these guys in the Cape.
He goes down on a 1-2 high fastball to add to his woes. Another strikeout against Langworthy and another strikeout racked up for Noah Skiro, who's now got 4, 3 of them swinging. That fastball up around the letters has been electric.
And just for a team that doesn't have that many strikeouts, Skiro's definitely boosting up those numbers right now and just doing a great job at it.
Here comes Barron Radcliffe, the big lefty out of Georgia Tech with 2 outs and 2 men on. First pitch he sees taken too far inside. Barron has struggled this season, as has Langworthy, only 3 for 17. That's a 176 average. Has 9 strikeouts as well. He has been put down on strikes in every single game he's played except for 1. Skiro's 1-0 offering. Just barely clips the knees, maybe a little bit low, but a great frame job behind the plate.
And here's the thing about Barron. I talked to his father a little bit when I was writing the other article on Barron Radcliffe, and his father said he's nowhere close to his potential right now. He still has a lot of at-bats to grow, and he has a lot of growth left for him.
1-1 misses downstairs. Barron does have another year if you're giving the lens of usually college baseball players play 3 years. Barron so far has played 2. He's a rising junior with Georgia Tech, and got to say, yeah, probably hasn't lived up the potential just yet because he's 6'4", 239. You got to expect he's got a lot more power in him as he shatters that bat, rolls up slowly up the first base line. Gill is there to make the play himself as he completely just obliterated the stick he was using, but that will retire the side anyway. Falmouth scores no runs on 1 hit, no errors against Orleans, and 2 runners left on base. We will head to the top of the 3rd inning. You're listening to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. Top of the third we go. Danny LaRose joined alongside Max Trink, who's on some color commentary for us as David Korzanowski works on the post-game recap. David, how's it looking so far? It's a 0-0 game.
I got nothing.
He's got nothing.
A lot of strikeouts. That's it.
A lot of strikeouts so far on his Word duck that he's got up right now. 0-1 as a swinging strike is fired past Eddie McCabe to start off the top of the third inning. So far, Majinski has been stellar. Not quite on that pitch. Throws a fastball right through the wickets of Troy Claunch.
You had to say it, Danny. You had to say he's been stellar, and then boom, that. But, you know, Majinski has been so good. Surprising amount of ground outs compared to strikeouts in this one.
Here's the 1-1. That's another ground ball over towards the left side and foul. 1-2. Eddie McCabe, right-handed bat from Norwalk, Connecticut, plays for Georgetown. Teammate of 2018 Falmouth Commodore pitcher. Boy, I'm blanking on the name. Here's the 1-2. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says first base umpire Rick Emerson. It's a swinging strikeout for Carmen Majinski, his second of the ball game.
And there's that strikeout that I was talking about. 5 ground outs, compared to 2 strikeouts on the game. And a beautiful pitch by Majinski and just kept McCabe, just barely swinging right there.
Brent Killam. Brent Killam was the left-handed pitcher I was thinking of, who was a 2018 Commodore and teammate of Eddie McCabe. Now he's in the minor leagues, was a pretty high draft pick himself. 1 out, nobody on for David Avidia, the catcher, who watches the first pitch paint the outside corner. He's from Phoenix, Arizona, and goes to school near his hometown at Grand Canyon University. Oh, 1 from Carmen. Check swing. Yes, he went, says Rick Emerson. 0-2, quickly the count. Majinski's slider has been en fuego so far this game. I mean, that thing has been breaking perfectly over the outside black. See if he goes back to it again. Here's the 0-2. Down in the dirt, checks his swing. Yes, he went. No appeal. Tim Carey makes the call himself. So it's back-to-back swinging strikeouts on a couple of check swings to start us off in the third.
At the same time, Rick Emerson did hold up the strikeout, so it was, between both of them, it was unanimous that was a strikeout right there, and that breaking ball is so good by Majinski.
Yeah, it has been looking pretty fierce, and nobody has been able to come around on it. Josh Zamora, the 9-hitter in this lineup, try to come up to the plate and get a hit. First pitch he sees, fastball right down the chute. So far it's been 8 up and 8 down for Majinski, trying to put down the lineup in order the first time around. 0-1, spiked in the dirt. 1-1 the count now to Zamora, rising junior at Nevada. He's coming off of a 2019 where he had a pretty stellar season, 320 average, 8 home runs, 38 RBIs. Majinski working quickly. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball right at the shortstop, Kevin Kendall. He fields it cleanly. Throw on to first. Great stretch by Austin Langworthy. And it's a 1-2-3 inning yet again worked by Carmen Majinski. We go to the home third. 0-0 the score between the Commodores and the Firebirds.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Still no score here at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field between the Firebirds and the Commodores. It's been all pitching so far. The Doors were able to get 2 runners on base in the second, came up empty, and now it'll be the 9-hitter Kevin Kendall leading things off for Falmouth. Kendall on the season batting .307. He has 4 hits in 13 tries. His 4 hits, 1 each coming in every game he's played. First pitch from Skiro to Kendall is taken on the inside corner for strike 1.
All those hits coming from that 9 spot, and that's the reason why he's rounding out the order. Sort of like a Kevin Kiermaier position for him. Kevin Kiermaier, when he started up with the Rays, he started out at the 9 spot and did so well with it.
Quickly 0-2. Falmouth lucky to have that back-to-back 1 spot, basically, with Kendall in the 9-hole, Cantrell at the leadoff position. Both of them hitting over 300, both of them with plenty of speed as well. Here's the 0-2. Misses upstairs. Kendall manages to lay off. Skiro from the first base side of the rubber on his windup. Very far to that first base side. Fires a breaking ball, and Kendall loses the bottom hand on the bat. Swings right through it. Just goes to show how good that pitch was as Kevin goes down a strikeout victim like 4 of his other teammates have already.
And 5 strikeouts on the day for the Doors and for Skiro. Skiro came into this one with 8 strikeouts, so huge jump right over there. He might be able to match it today the way that he's been pitching.
First pitch he throws to Hayden Cantrell, who, surprise, surprise, was a strikeout victim his first time up. One of, as you mentioned, 5, takes a first pitch strike. Hayden has really limited the strikeouts this season, especially compared to last summer. But he quickly falls behind no balls and 2 strikes as Skiro is not wasting a moment and is just firing pitch after pitch after pitch right over the heart of the plate.
Quick pitching right now. You know what? Might as well. If it's working, you might as well.
0-2. Chopped foul.
And like you were saying about Hayden, last summer, batted 190 with 14 RBIs, 28 walks, but 34 strikeouts and 100 at-bats. That's the stat that we really focus on when it came to last summer and this summer. He's been so effective.
0-2 misses just upstairs and outside. 1-2 now the count to Cantrell, who mentioned in his first at-bat was leading the Cape League in average just a couple days ago. He's 10 for his last 20, batting .500 over the last couple games. Now 2-2 the count to the Louisiana Ragin' Cajun. Before that 10 for 20 stretch, he was 0 for 12. So it's been a tale of 2 seasons for Hayden through only these 11 games. Skiro's 2-2. Popped up in the air. This should stay playable on the third base side, and it will. Ranging over in foul ground and making the grab is Tanner Murray, 2 up, 2 down in the third.
That was the first either fly out or pop out of the entire game for both sides. The ball has stayed on the ground pretty much since.
That will make any pitching coach happy. Pitching coaches love when their pitchers are ground ball pitchers, and so far so good for both Majinski and Skiro. Blake Dunn will be the hitter. He struck out looking his last time up. First pitch swinging on a beautiful curveball, swung out of his shoes on that one. Blake came into tonight with only one strikeout in his previous 3 games played. Strikeout bug bit him heavily before then. He's trying to avoid that right now.
And he's really picked up his average now at a 296, 6 RBIs. It's really been clutch for these Commodores, especially when the hitting hasn't been the best so far.
Fastball on the inside corner for strike number 2. He came up pretty big against Bourne, had a leadoff double late in the game, ended up coming around to score to give them some insurance. 1-2, spiked in the dirt.
There are times, especially in the last game at Bourne, where he looks brilliant, and he goes from that sac fly, fakes it, and then goes in and scores on a pop-up that should have clearly been, an out.
2-2 on the outside corner, strike 3 called. He tried to hold up his swing, but it did not matter. It is a called strike 3. Blake Dunn falls to 0 for 2. We're going to keep it right here as we head in to the top of the 4th inning. So far, pitcher's duel has been the name of the game. Majinski so far has not allowed a base runner. So far, Skiro, despite that second inning, letting 2 guys on base, he's been racking up a ton of strikeouts. And, this is just pretty much what you expected with the Commodore struggling offense and Orleans being as good as they are on the bump.
Yeah, and just the pitching has been such a story in this one, especially with Majinski. Seems to be eager to be out there, especially after all those rainouts. It seems like, there's going to be this long stretch, and you have to figure this out. And one thing is that Majinski's going to really has been effective about it.
Yeah, he's ready, and his pitches have been jumping. That slider has been really fiercely hitting the outside corner against righties. They have had no clue how to hit it. He hasn't had the strikeout numbers that Skiro has had, except if you count last inning, he racked up 2 in those 3 batters. So he's got 3 strikeouts, all of them swinging. And we will go to a short break as Majinski warms up, and the top of the 4th coming your way right after this.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. As we start at the top of the 4th, I'm going to let my broadcast partner, Max Trink, take over some of the play-by-play calls. Max, take it away.
It won't be for too long, Danny. But now we have Zach Koska heading into the box to face Carmen Majinski, who set down the first 9 batters in a row. Majinski's pitch grounded over to the first baseman, and an easy play for Langworthy. Steps on the bag, and that'll be an easy out number 1 for Langworthy.
And I know we've been talking about how it's been so many ground balls for Carmen Majinski, which is a great thing. But even better is they've been slow tappers. They've been slow ground balls. Pretty much an easy play on just about everything. Even when Moretto had to make a fantastic play in the field, that was because the ball was hit so slowly. There have been no hot shots from Orleans so far. Majinski has been keeping them in check.
Now entering the box is Zach Britton, the right fielder for tonight. And first pitch to Britton will be a ball. 1-0 the count. Another breaking pitch by Majinski with clear speed. 1-1 the count. Britton, his favorite team growing up, actually, funny thing, Cincinnati Reds. Grew up a huge Ken Griffey Jr. fan. He ranked as the number 4 player in Indiana in the class of 2017, number 1 catcher in the state by perfect game. The 1-1. Pitch just outside, 2-1 the count.
That's a pitch that looks like it's right around the knees, probably just an inch below. We've seen it called a couple of times, but just needs a little bit of a better frame job from Troy Claunch.
The 2-1 from Majinski. That'll be over our heads in the press box. Foul. 2-2 the count.
And with Britton arriving on the Cape, he's a Louisville Cardinal. We've got a couple of Florida State Seminoles who have arrived as well for Falmouth. Not yet activated, but Matt Nelson and Shane Drohan are in the dugout right now. So with Michigan, Vanderbilt finishing up the College World Series just earlier this past week, looks like things have kind of all sorted themselves out.
And an outside pitch by Majinski, 3-2. That breaking ball just couldn't get into the zone. Now the count is back to full.
And the reason I say sorted things out is that now if anybody was waiting for a guy from Louisville or a guy from, Arkansas or Florida State to come, they're pretty much all arrived. We are at that point in the season where everything's set in stone.
And that will be a walk to Britton, the first base runner of the day for the Orleans Firebirds.
Yeah, Majinski doesn't get beat. He just kind of defeats himself as he had Britton down 2 strikes but couldn't quite find the strike zone on the outside part of the plate. Maybe squeezed a little bit on 1 or 2 of those. But again, he gives Britton the free pass as that will now break up his perfect stretch to start the ballgame.
The 3-hitter Max Troiani heads to the plate. The first pitch by Majinski is a ball. 1-0 the count. Troiani, an interesting story picked up by David Korzanowski, our web reporter for tonight. He was originally signed as a temp, and he had plans to be a banking intern in Boston for 2 weeks after his stint in the Cape, as this pitch is inside, but the steal attempt, as it will be Britton going on the steal and able to steal second base right over there.
Yeah, Majinski didn't really give him too many looks back, and Britton decided to take his liberties. He's listed, again, as a catcher / an outfielder, but he's got outfield speed. So kind of a, maybe this is a too early comparison, but kind of like Bryce Harper coming out of high school, outfield catcher, and Britton showing off some of his speed that he has to show off when he's in the outfield.
A little bit of an early comparison, as you can hear some noise from the Commodores dugout.
Yeah, it looks like home plate umpire Tim Carey is trying to say that it's a ball because Troiani didn't swing, and he's saying that the reason that it looked like his bat went around the plate was because he twisted his body in order to avoid the pitch inside, and a whole chorus of Commodores, including Jeff Trundy from the dugout, were saying, nope, I disagree.
When Trundy says he disagrees, then it definitely is something to question. 2-0 the count to Troiani. That'll be a ball, 3-0. But getting back to what I was saying about Troiani, he had this banking internship all set up for him. He planned on spending like 2 weeks in the Cape, but he started to hit, and they really wanted him to stay on the Firebirds. So it was the hardest decision of his life. That's a quote directly from Troiani. But he decided to stay on the Cape, clearly playing today. So that pitch will be a strike, 3-1 the count.
All respect to Troiani, I don't know how that's the hardest decision of your life. To wake up every morning and be able to play baseball, with some of the best talent in the country in front of scouts and, on the beautiful Cape Cod, or to put on a tie every morning and go into a bank. I don't know. Baseball for me every time.
Beautiful Cape Cod. Let's see what the weather is like, depending on whatever, when you're going to get playing time, because it's been crazy over here. The 3-1, I'll be fouled off 3-2. The count goes full.
But again, he has been spectacular. I mean, like I said, his first time up, nobody really expected a guy from Bentley to be leading, or I guess at least for a lot of the season, leading the Cape in average, and definitely not leading the Firebirds in average. But here he is, racking up a good amount of ribbies as well. Hasn't seen the power yet, no home runs. But again, he has been really hitting the baseball well from some of these top pitchers.
Majinski's pitch, a swinging strike 3, as Troy Clonch will throw it on over to first. That ball was in the dirt for out number 2.
Good job by Majinski fighting back. Falls behind 3-0. Had a couple of pitches that came really close, especially the third ball looked like it could have been called a strike at the knees. So he might have felt himself getting squeezed a little bit, bounces back with some spectacular pitches, finally goes back to the slider in the dirt. That's a risk to throw with 3 balls. Obviously, it's in the dirt, so it can be ball 4, but he trusts it. He trusts the movement on it and had a feeling, knew that Troiani was going to swing through it, which he did.
The DH, Matt Goodart, enters the box as Majinski's pitch is outside 1-0. Man on second with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Still no score. Majinski set, looks back. The pitch. That will be popped foul. And Goodart, of course, a transfer from a community college, came in and was named the most valuable player of the Class 5A state when he was a junior back in high school. He also led his school to a conference championship. 52 and 15 was the record for that team. You know, he really led them to that championship. Goes and plays for his home state of Arkansas. That pitch is low. That'll be 2-1.
Arkansas, a team who got an early exit from the College World Series, bounced in only 2 games. But, again, he gets to come onto the Cape, play for the Firebirds, who have been red hot, impress some scouts, and he's been hitting well. He's got hits in every game he's played so far.
2-1 the count to Goodhart. The pitch from Majinski. Outside, count goes 3-1. Goodhart standing right side of box, bats lefty. Majinski set the pitch. That'll be another foul ball. Count goes full 3-2.
Fastball has been hit or miss for Majinski so far. That one was great. Paints the outside corner right at the knees. Not much that Goodhart can do with it other than waste it away. But again, I mentioned that the fastball has been hit or miss because sometimes it's been missing way outside or he's been letting it sail high. So it's something that Majinski's going to have to lock down if he wants to avoid all these 3-ball counts.
Over 50 pitches now for Majinski. The 3-2, a swinging strike 3. And that will retire the side. Score still 0-0 as the Commodores will head to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. Keep it locked.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Down here on the field, and welcome to July, everyone. 32 games in the next 31 days for Falmouth. And before the game, I asked head coach Jeff Trundy how he prepares his guys for such a jam-packed schedule. And he said it's all about building relationships. He said if these guys come to the field every day and they want to be around each other, then it's fun. So as long as they're keeping up the energy and continuing to form friendships, then he thinks they will be just fine. And guys, we've seen this team. They're very close, they're very loose, and they love to have a good time. So hopefully July will be a very good month for them.
Thank you to the third member of our broadcast team, Katie Florio, bringing us that update. And I think that is the name of the game at this point is you can't get bogged down in the dog days of summer. You pretty much just have to have fun and play like you're a kid again, honestly.
And you got to hope that there's not going to be another rain out. The season would extend potentially into August. August 1st is the last off day that is available. July is filled with games.
Yeah.
And you know, you got to hope that players stay healthy, that you're going to have all the arms that are available. Pitchers don't hit innings limits. As we are back here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Skiro on the mound for Orleans, in the first pitch over to Tawa is a ball. The 1-0, a swinging strike by Tawa, 1-1.
You might have noticed on the camera that Tawa kind of gave himself, I don't know what it is, but he throws his fist across the front of his body saying, man, I should have had that one. That one was right down Broadway.
The 1-1 popped up in foul territory. Avidia able to get the ball, and that'll be out number 1.
Tawa, I think, really kicking himself now for fouling away that 0-1 pitch. He was right on it, just a tad late, only was able to get a piece of it. Very next pitch he sees is a breaking ball, breaking towards the outside part of the plate, just tries to waste it away, but gets underneath it, and he is retired without really giving any threat to Skiro, who is still running roughshod through this Falmouth lineup.
Now stepping into the box, the cleanup hitter, Troy Claunch. First pitch to Claunch will be a strike right down the heart of the plate. 0-1 the count. Claunch, of course, the backup catcher at OSU to the Adley Rutschman, former Commodore. The 0-1, a ball, 1-1 the count.
And it's clear that Claunch has learned some things because he's a great backstop. We know he's a pretty good hitter. He was the designated hitter for a lot of the games that the Beavers played this past spring, but defensively didn't get too many chances because, of course, you're going to start Adley as many chances as you're going to get. So Troy really only played during the midweeks, but it's clear that, the catch, there's something going on with that catching out in Corvallis because he has been pretty stellar defensively all summer long.
And the Commodores have a couple of great catchers here in Falmouth. The 1-2, a swinging strike 3, and that will be 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
Just looks like Skuro is working so quickly, and he's got his pitches hitting exactly where he wants them to be. He's pinpointing it perfectly, and the fact that he's got that relentless pace, these Commodores hitters just aren't really adjusting to it. They're not prepared, especially that one. I mean, Claunch kind of gave a haphazard swing way late after the ball was way past him already.
And now Zach DeLoach is in the box, and that's a base hit for DeLoach on the first pitch. He sees an easy single through the gap between shortstop and second base.
So DeLoach sees that 7 of his teammates have struck out, a couple of multiple times, 7 total strikeouts for Skuro. He says, I'm not going to give him the opportunity. Takes the first pitch fastball he sees, caught a little bit too much plate on the outside half, and that's enough of wiggle room for DeLoach to deposit it into center field. Great job adjusting again. Like I said, Skuro working quickly, but DeLoach was on top of it.
Now Steven Moretto in the box for the Commodores. First pitch he sees is a strike 0-1. Moretto from British Columbia. Today, as we said before, is Canada Day. So happy Canada Day to you Canadians.
I don't know exactly what Canada Day is for, but it is a day, 3 days before the 4th of July.
And actually, Steven's parents are on a plane to New York City right now. They're going to be here for the 4th of July, or as they called it, the July 4th holiday. I was thrown off by the holiday part when I talked to them. But they are very excited to see the Cape League. They knew about it for a very long time. Steven signed his contract around September, so he's been here for a very long time, and they're very excited to see what the Cape League has in store. The 2-1 to Moretto. They say no swing on that pitch, so the count goes to 3-1.
Well, the 4th should be a fun day. We mentioned it a couple days ago, but it will be at Katuitt, 5 p.m. start. We'll end just in time for us to go see fireworks, thankfully. Katuitt, a beautiful ballpark, and I'm sure it'll be a huge crowd.
As the 3-1 is popped foul toward the right side bleachers.
Katuitt has their own 4th of July parade as well, as do the Firebirds. And every single year on the 4th, the Firebirds team, their entire team, has their own float, and they are actually marching in that parade, which is kind of jealous that they get to do that. I wish I could see this team do that.
The 3-2, as that will be fouled off. Clearly, DeLoach going on a 3-2, 2-out pitch. And I've heard a lot about that from Orleans broadcaster and another fellow Cane, Josh White. He's
3 times.
talked
3 Hurricanes references.
3 Hurricanes references so far. Got to talk about it. Got to talk about it when you can.
All you, Max.
3-2. That will be a ball. Almost hits Moretto, as there will be men on second and first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, so pretty much exactly what they had in the second inning, just an extra out towards it. DeLoach got on with a walk with 1 out in the second. Steven Moretto got on with a single right behind him. Mirroring that here in the 4th with 2 outs, DeLoach getting on with the single and Moretto getting on with the walk. Now it's down to Langworthy and maybe Radcliffe, if we get that far, to try to bring them home. We know hitting with runners in scoring position has been a major fault line of the Doors, and this is a great opportunity to try to break open a scoreless game.
Now Langworthy pops that ball foul. Count goes to 0-1, and Langworthy could really use a hit here. 4 for his last 28. Back in the second inning, he did strike out swinging. So Langworthy really could use a hit right here. The converted first baseman in the box. The pitch from Skuro. Be a ball 1-1 the count.
I'm waiting for Langworthy to start hitting some bombs. We have not seen too many home runs from this Doors ball club. Only 5, 3 of them coming from Hayden Cantrell. Last year, Langworthy was one of the leaders on the team in dingers. He's always been a power guy, usually a pull guy, too, with that big, long stick.
The 1-1, a ball low, 2-1 the count. And to talk about the other two guys that hit home runs this year are also shocking. Trey Cruz, you wouldn't think that he would be a power guy. And the late addition for the Commodores, and that was Taylor Smith. He hit a home run as well. So that's the 5 home runs on the year so far, as that will be popped up out of play right over our heads in the press box.
Langworthy with a big, long swing, part of the reason why it lends itself to some power, but also the reason why pitches like that, fastballs with a little bit of giddy up to them on the outside half, he can't get around on because, like I said, a bit of a longer swing than some guys usually have. Now he's gotten himself in a hole at 2-2 when he maybe could have put it out in play.
The 2-2, a swinging strike 3 by Austin Langworthy, and his struggles continue as the Commodores go down swinging. We head to the top of the 5th. Still 0-0 your score. Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Five, 6, 7 hitters set for Orleans as they face Carmen Majinski, who's still on the mound for the Commodores. One of his longer outings this season. Of course, this is only his 2nd outing. And huge game for him so far. Still has not allowed a hit.
Yeah, pretty good start. Only the 1 base runner because of a 3-2 walk. So he got Britton, who was the walk recipient. He got him pretty far deep, nearly struck him out a couple of times, but ended up walking him. That's the 1 blemish on Majinski's record so far.
Firebirds first baseman Raymond Gill heads into the box. That will be a foul ball. 0-1 the count.
We mentioned how great Gill was, ACC All-Third Team, NCAA Starkville All-Regional Team. He had a fantastic tournament in Starkville, coming off of a season .318 average and 13 home runs. He really showed off his power down in Coral Gables for a team that the year before had little to no home runs. Year later, thanks in large part to Gill, they were hitting a lot more home runs than most other teams in the country.
And you saw it in Starkville, that Raymond Gill, against one of the top teams in the country. He still did extremely well. You know, Mississippi State was a little bit of a mismatch when it came down to that regional for Miami, but still Gill has been strong as that pitch, the 0-2, is a swinging strikeout for Gill. He goes down to the bench. And now Tanner Murray will head to the box for Orleans.
Yeah, so Raymond Gill, although he did great against the Mississippi State SEC pitching, faces another SEC pitcher here in Majinski, and he's 0 for 2. The strikeout you mentioned, ground out to first. Not great start for Ray.
Murray tries to get the bunt down, goes foul. Playing third base tonight for Orleans. A former quarterback and punter back in high school, Tanner Murray. As the 0-1 is a ball, 1-1.
Murray, it says he played his 2018 summer with the Geneva Red Wings. I will give $1 to anybody in this room who can tell me what league that is.
I couldn't tell you.
Everybody's shaking their heads.
As that pitch will be a ball. Almost hits Murray. 2-1 the count. No men on, no hits yet for Orleans. Majinski still strong in this one here in the top of the 5th inning. Pitch from Majinski. A strike right down the heart of the plate. Murray may have thought that was a little low. 2-2 the count.
His breaking ball has just been so dominant. The fastball, I mentioned it an inning ago, hit or miss. Sometimes it's wild, sometimes it hits its spot. The curveball every single time has been flawless.
As the next pitch to Murray will be foul.
Great job by Murray just to be able to get a piece on it. The swing looked so frantic. It was a frenetic swing from him because of the fact that it was a breaking ball breaking so far on the inside part of the plate, back door, and he was just able to kind of take a stutter step, throw his hands out at it, and he was lucky to foul it away. Otherwise, that one would have been an easy punch out. Murray knew that, able to waste it away. Like I said, I mean, just fantastic job on 2 strikes.
And Majinski calls time and changes up the ball. Mid-batter, 2-2, the count with 1 out and no men on. Murray in the box. The pitch from Majinski. Holds up the swing from Murray. And now the count goes full 3-2.
Looks like he's trying to pepper that inside corner to righties. Went with a fastball inside again, just misses by a little bit. We've seen a lot of breaking pitches inside, backdoor to right-handers, and we'll see if he tries to go to it again. Not too much room for error.
And a swinging strike on a beautiful breaking ball from Majinski for out number 2.
Again, goes back to the breaker. We saw that time and time again with 3 balls and 2 strikes. Majinski isn't afraid to throw a low breaking ball below the knees. Would be a ball every single time, would be ball 4, but he avoids it because Murray just sees it, and it's such a juicy pitch. I mean, that thing is on a tee, suddenly bottoms out. Not much you can do with it. Great on Carmen to continue to throw that even with 3 balls just because he trusts it so much.
Now, Eddie McCabe grounds it over to the shortstop. A beautiful play right there by Kevin Kendall. A nice extension from the 5'10 first baseman Austin Langworthy, and that will retire the side for Orleans. Still no hits for the Firebirds, so definitely want to stay tuned to this one. 0-0 your score as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday. What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network as we have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters set to face off against Skiro. Still on the mound for Orleans. Has been just dominant for the Firebirds. Seems like it's been a pitching duel for sure, Danny, as Orleans yet to have a hit and the Commodores only having 2 hits. Baron Radcliffe in the box for the Doors as the first pitch he sees is a strike 0-1 the count.
Yeah, definitely been a pitcher's duel. I mean, strikeouts aplenty for Noah Skiro and the Birds. Meanwhile, for the Commodores, Carmen Majinski, not as many Ks, but he's just been getting so many quick outs, a lot of ground balls, no hard contact at all from Orleans, and they've had 5 innings to get that. This has been such a quickly moving game.
The 0-1 from Skiro, a swinging strike by Baron Radcliffe. And now the count goes to 0-2. Radcliffe has struck out a lot this season. 3 for 18 so far on the year. The 0-2 outside 1-2.
Mentioned how quickly the game has been going and don't want to jinx it unless, you want to see a normal, longer game.
And a pitch right down the heart of the plate for strike number 3 as Baron Radcliffe goes down looking.
Yeah, great pitch that you got to swing at with 2 strikes. Maybe he just wasn't expecting fastball, but that's why you look for fastball, adjust a curveball, and he didn't do that there. But I mentioned how it's been a quickly moving game, and want to remind people that a year ago, 2018, the very first matchup between Orleans and Falmouth was right here at Gov Fuller Field, finished as a 1-0 game that took only an hour 29, if I remember correctly. Scott Politz got the win for Falmouth. C.J. Schaefer scored the lone run of the ball game. It was the quickest game on the Cape, if I remember correctly, that summer. And so far, this one is trying to mirror that.
Skiro keeps up with the quick pitch right now. 1-1 the count to the UCLA Bruin, Kevin Kendall. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Another swing at a pitch in the dirt. 1-2 now the count. And as a web reporter, I usually write the articles here.
Right.
I would hate to write a 0-0 tie article. It would be the worst thing I could imagine.
It'd be about 5 sentences long.
1-2. Now it'll be grounded over to the first baseman, Raymond Gill. Gill easily able to get to the first base. So a 3 unassisted on your scorecard, as that will be out number 2.
Raymond Gill looks like he's adapted just fine over to first base. He's used to playing the other corner. He played a little bit of first base with the Hurricanes in 2018 when he was filling in as pretty much a backup player, kind of switching time off over at third and first base. And a couple, Orleans wasn't sure if they need to sign a first baseman or whether Gill can lock that down. He's looking A-OK over there. That was a pretty tough hop that he was able to reel in just fine.
Now the reigning Cape League Player of the Week, Hayden Cantrell, enters the box. 1-0 the count to Cantrell. As you were saying about Gill, I mean, he's not going to get a lot of reps at first base when you have Alex Terrell at first base. The 1-0 outside. 2-0.
Terrell, of course, on Chatham, who we were supposed to play yesterday. Chatham, another Eastern team that Falmouth was supposed to play in a trio of games against the Eastern Division. That one washed out. Falmouth so far 1-0 against the Anglers with a 1-0 win.
2-0 down low for 3-0 now, the count to Hayden Cantrell. And of course, Cantrell back in the first struck out. In the third was a pop out to the third baseman. The 3-0 will be high again, high and inside to Hayden Cantrell as he heads on over to first base.
With Skiro, it's interesting. He either looks so on point like he was against Radcliffe where it didn't take him a lot of pitches, and then 2 batters later against Cantrell, four straight balls. So he's kind of, whether he's very on point and then suddenly loses it for a second. And luckily for him, there's already 2 outs. Just like last inning when Falmouth got a 2-out base runner, not much you can do when you've only got 1 out to give.
Cantrell with a huge lead over at first base, wearing the oven mitt. The first pitch to Blake Dunn in the box is a ball 1-0. That's skipped in the dirt as now the catcher, Avidia, comes over to talk to Skiro. I think it's maybe after 5 straight balls, you want to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. He looks like he's overthrowing a little bit and suddenly lost a little bit of the touch. So good job to go out and talk to your pitcher if you're behind home plate. This is a big opportunity for Blake Dunn because a lot of times over the last couple of games when he's got guys on base looking strikeouts. I mean, his last 2 times up, his only 2 times up, looking strikeouts. We saw bases loaded 1 out against Yarmouth Dennis on Saturday. He watched a pitch go right down the middle, right at his knees for a looking strikeout. So he's got a chance right here to swing at some pitches and try to put one into a gap. Just got to, again, trust your ability at the plate. Don't be looking for a walk. It seems like he's always looking for walks because he's got such great speed, but he's a great hitter as well.
Skiro running out of pitches here, it seems, as Connor Pellerin warming up in the bullpen for Orleans. Good lead from Hayden Cantrell as another pitch is fouled away by Blake Dunn. 1-2.
Are not allowed in the secured police parking lot to retrieve foul balls. Thank you.
Cantrell isn't shy. He definitely will try and bark at the pitcher, try and get him to throw over and maybe make an error. And that's a ground ball to the shortstop. An easy play as the shortstop, McCabe, steps on second base for the force out. Fielder's choice right over there. And that'll be it for my play-by-play. Thank you again for Danny for letting me have this little opportunity. I definitely had a little bit of fun with it, and I hope I wasn't too bad.
Yeah, you're just fine.
All right, heading into the top of the 6th inning. Still score 0-0. Keep it locked to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Back in action here at the Gov. Danny LaRose joined alongside Max Trink on the call for you. And we've got a new pitcher on the bump in Justin Robleski. So head-scratching move right now for the Commodores as Carmen Majinski, who was stellar through his 5 innings of work, did not allow a hit, only allowed 1 base runner, and that base runner got stranded at second base. No runs, of course, racked up a good amount of strikeouts, but instead it's going to be Robleski to take the reins from here.
And here's the shocking thing about it, was that second game against Wareham that Majinski was supposed to start, he got that extra rest. He could have probably went out and pitched a couple more innings, or at least one more inning, and he didn't get that opportunity here. Turned it over to the bullpen, so we'll see what the bullpen can do from this point.
Could be the reason why they pulled him pretty early, because of that extra rest. Might not be used to pitching all that much. Only pitched 10 2/3 this past spring anyway. Robleski's first pitch is down and in to the catcher, David Avidia. 1-0 paints the inside corner. Robleski with 2 appearances so far on the season, and they have been polar opposites of each other. June 14th in the 9-9 tie against Hyannis, he threw 2/3 of an inning, allowed 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Great pitch there, just misses low. Tough call. And then June 23rd against Yarmouth Dennis, an 8-4 loss for the Commodores. He threw 2 innings of work, didn't allow a hit, 1 walk, 4 Ks. So we'll see which Robleski we get tonight. 2-1, just misses a bit high. Count now 3 balls and 1 strike.
And Robleski losing a little bit in this count. Definitely don't want to give up any base runners in the bottom of the order. Definitely the top of the order is very threatening for Orleans.
3-1, sharp fastball at the knees, fouled back. Avidia, who struck out swinging his first time up only in the 3rd inning, only his 2nd at-bat, and we're in the 6th. This game has just been flying by, thanks in large part to Carmen Majinski and Noah Skiro on the other side. Lefty Robleski from Clemson kicks and fires a 3-2 breaking ball that does not break. Sits way high, and that's ball 4. The very first batter he faces, he walks, and Orleans has a base runner for only the 2nd time tonight.
And you could see the ball slip out of his hand as he was throwing it. It clearly was going to be a ball. Just was ducking cover from that point for Avidia.
Here comes Josh Zamora, rising junior at Nevada from Foothill Ranch, California. Playing second base tonight for Orleans. Haven't had to say his name much. No ground balls to second base just yet for Falmouth. And Zamora, his first time up, grounded out to short. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and Robleski having a tough time finding the strike zone. Zamora coming off of a 2019 where he was a second-team All-Mountain West Conference after batting .320. Showing bunt yet again, pulls it back yet again as it's another pitch way high. Troy Claunch telling his lefty, just bring it down a little bit, you're overthrowing.
And Robleski here going to have a little meeting with pitching coach Mike Landry. Their arms warming up in the bullpen right now. Just stretching right now for Robleski, especially since he just came into this one. Only had the one walk, but Lesky needs to cool it down a little bit. Pitches seem to be flying out of his hand, and he just doesn't really have control, not necessarily of his fastball, but of his breaking stuff.
They have now just sent out a reliever to warm up in the pen. Zach Brixey looks like he's tossing with, is that Trey Cruz throwing back to him? So they
two?
Yeah, I think that's Trey Cruz. So they definitely are not warming up for anything, but they did just send out a reliever to go warm up after Robleski has had some trouble finding the strike zone.
It's
Hoffman. Hoffman. Okay, so Hoffman warming up now as he's just getting stretching. So Robleski's going to have to get through this batter, and he's weird how they brought Robleski in to face 3 straight righties to start this inning, and not a guy like Hoffman. As that bunt pushed up the first base line, Langworthy fields it, throw on to second base is wide. Takes Kevin Kendall off the bag, rolls into center field, and there are going to be runners on first and third after the error from Langworthy. Would have been an easy out at second, potentially a double play, as the base runner Avidia thought it was going to roll foul off the bat. Eventually, he gets to third base thanks to the mistake.
Here's another point, is that Langworthy was so close to the runner, he could have just put a tag on and then tried to make the throw. It seemed like it was pretty easy for Langworthy to make a good throw to second base, and even if he would have made that tag, it would have been an easy double play.
Error on Langworthy and a fielder's choice for Josh Zamora, who got the bunt down successfully, and a base running error from Avidia. Should have been running when he saw that one hit the ground. Thought it was going to roll foul, and it gets bailed out by the outfielder converted to first baseman, who's doing the job over there, was doing a fine job, but makes one mistake that might cost Falmouth a lot, because we're already in the 6th in a scoreless ball game.
And now you have your 1, 2, 3 hitters going for Orleans, some of the best guys in the country. And it's a little bit of a scary situation for Robleski. Seemed to be an easy double play for him.
1-1 the count to Kokoska. Swings and flails at a breaking ball outside. Beautiful pitch from Robleski, who now facing a left-handed bat, definitely has the advantage. Another lefty on deck in Zach Britton. Robleski looking back. Zamora at first. Comes home with the 1-2. Breaking ball looked like a curveball out of the hand, and it sailed way high.
He just can't get a good grip on the ball when he's trying to throw a breaking ball. And it's showing right now.
That one looked like it slipped out immediately. It stayed right around eye level at Kokoska. The 2-2. Spiked in the dirt. Claunch is going to have to retrieve it, and that's going to be no contest. Run comes home. Avidia scores the game's first run on a wild pitch. And just like that, Falmouth take out their starter, who was stellar, and already they've lost the lead.
And it's a shame that that's the first run of the game.
Right.
Off a wild pitch.
And an error, too.
Of an error, a wild pitch. The defense just needs to pick it up. Like I said, last game, first game since June 23rd, that the Commodores didn't commit an error here, and that's the reason why scores 1-0 now.
The payoff pitch. Kokoska just flails out the bat at it and somehow makes contact. Count will remain full. I like to mention a lot that walks and errors will 99 times out of 100 come back to bite you almost immediately. Well, just like that, a walk to Avidia and then an error puts him on third. All mistakes that score the first run for Orleans. It's unearned against Robleski. Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. Justin Robleski having a tough time finding the strike zone right now, and he's allowed the first 3 base runners to reach.
And with every at-bat, the entrance of Logan Hoffman seems imminent because Robleski just can't get the control of his breaking stuff, and clearly Orleans is just taking right now.
He can't get that pitch low, it seems. He just keeps missing high, and you never want to miss high because a lot of times if you're missing high and it does hit the strike zone, it can be about belt high, which usually means trouble. Showing bunt is Zach Britton trying to advance the runners into scoring position. Another fastball misses high, and Robleski just can't get the ball low.
And it seems to me that when he tries to get it low, like he did on the wild pitch, he just released it way too late. And from there, it's either that he's releasing the ball way too early, he doesn't have a good grip on it, or he's just forcing it over the plate.
The 1-0 again showing bunt, pulls it back, taken right down the middle for strike number 1. Britton has reached base once himself. It was a walk back in the 4th. He stole second and was stranded there. Carmen Majinski was perfect through 5, didn't allow a hit, only allowed the 1 base runner, that was Britton. Now Orleans with a 1-0 lead. Gets down the bunt up the third base side. Robleski has to go to first. The throw to first, just in time. Cantrell covering the bag, taps it, and that is the first out of the inning. But great job done by Zach Britton, advancing both Zamora and Kokoska into scoring position with less than 2 outs.
Yeah, 1 out here. No ability to have a double play at this point. And now 3, 4, 5 hitters, especially with the hot Raymond Gill, could potentially be coming up to the plate.
That will draw the attention of pitching coach Mike Landry as Justin Robleski in his 3rd outing. His first outing was not his best. His second outing was fantastic, and now his 3rd outing, again, not his best. He will be yanked after only getting through a 1/3 of an inning and allowing 1 unearned run, and Logan Hoffman will be called upon to try to get out of this jam. The runners on 2nd and 3rd, only 1 out, and the heart of the order coming up to the plate for Orleans, led by Max Troiani, the Bentley Falcon, who's leading Orleans in average. So it will be a righty-righty matchup going against Troiani, who's over 2 with 2 strikeouts. But still, even a fly ball to the outfield should mean a run.
And just right now, it seems a little gloomy right now for the Commodores, especially after Majinski's stellar start. There's not really a lot that you could have asked more from Majinski. And if you look 1 game ago, we were supposed to play Chatham yesterday. Franco Aleman did pretty much the same exact thing as Majinski did on the mound, and the bullpen really helped him out. Significant help from the defensive end, the bullpen. It was an overall good game, as we were saying before, Danny. And the pitching was there for them to potentially score more runs. Orleans does have a great pitching staff, the best probably on the Cape. But from that point, if you're going to make errors, if you're not going to be able to hit, you're not going to have that complete game like you did against the Bourne Braves. You're not going to win games.
So far, the pitching was complete until this inning, and it will be Logan Hoffman coming into the game. Hoffman making his 4th appearance on the Cape, has not pitched since June 23rd. His first appearance was on opening day against the Harwich Mariners. Went 3 innings of work, allowed 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. His 2nd outing, 2 innings, did not allow a run, only 1 hit. His 3rd outing, no hits as well, through an inning in the 3rd. He has been phenomenal for the Commodores, 1-0 record, 1.42 ERA, and 9 Ks over 6 1/3. So they need him to be just as phenomenal as he has been all summer in order to get out of the jam and keep the damage to 1. Hoffman, the transfer from Colby College, a JUCO in Kansas, heading off to Northwestern State down in Louisiana this coming fall. He's got Kokoska on 2nd and Josh Zamora on 3rd, with Max Troiani coming up to the dish.
And Hoffman, still another guy that hasn't seen the ball in a very long time. Of course, rainouts don't help that situation out at all, but Hoffman in a huge spot here to prove that he is on this roster, and he should be on this roster.
Infield brought in so that a ground ball will not mean a run. Hoffman pitching from the windup. Kicks and fires home. First pitch misses way outside, and that one's going to roll across the backstop. A second wild pitch, the first pitch delivered by Logan Hoffman, brings home the game's 2nd run. Unreal.
That was not what anybody was expecting in that situation. First pitch, wild pitch from Hoffman. Pressure was getting to him there, and especially with 2 men in scoring position. And Orleans is cashing in right now.
Orleans has not had a hit all ball game, and they have scored 2 runs and have put together quite the rally here in the 6th. 2-0 in favor of the Orleans Firebirds with no hits, no runs for the Doors, and 2 hits. Fastball swung right through by Troiani, who's now gotten himself an RBI despite not taking a swing. Count now 1-1. Matt Goodhart stands on deck, hoping to get up to the plate with Troiani on base. Infield remains in with the runner at third. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball lined off the glove of the diving third baseman, Moretto. Throw on to first. Not in time. Troiani just barely beats it out, but Steven Moretto just saved a run.
Yeah, and it will not go as an out in the scorecard. It will not be remembered as an out, but it really was crucial in this one, keeping this game really close to nothing. And now still, even with that, the double play is still available for the Commodores here in a huge spot.
That's a good point. Double play is back in order, so the middle is back. Steven Moretto, you mentioned, won't go down as an out, but maybe more important than an out would have been in that instance. It was a sharp liner that would have gone through the hole. Instead, Moretto, full extension, nicks it off his glove, and Kokoska had to stay at third base. Left-handed Matt Goodhart at the dish from Arkansas, who's 0 for 2, shows bunt, does not get it down. He pulls it back as Clonch catches the pitch outside. Goodhart grounded out to second back in the second and struck out swinging in the fourth. Hoffman, he'd take either of those right now. Logan's 1-0, showing bunt again, pulls it back, ball 2, and Falmouth bullpen just cannot quite find the strike zone right now.
And it's a smart thing to show bunt. Not only does it put pressure on Hoffman to say, oh, maybe I'm going to have to make a play right now, but it also shows that they have confidence in their runners to be able to either score or advance to second base.
The 2-0, outside, ball 3. Nothing is going right for the Doors bullpen. Just makes you wonder what this inning would be like if Majinski had started it.
And now Raymond Gill, riding a 7-game hit streak, will be on deck with the bases loaded if this next pitch is a ball.
3-0 count to Goodhart. Swings and misses, had the green light on 3-0, saw a fastball he liked, and took a home run hack.
He was swinging out of his shoes on that one.
Yeah, he fell into the right-handed batter's box. I feel like it's worthy to say that the combined no-hitter that the Doors were pitching has now ended after Troiani's single. So they went 5 1/3, not allowing a hit. Hoffman's 3-1. Fastball fouled away. He's battled back to make it full.
2 great pitches by Hoffman. Gets him back into this count. And huge opportunity here with 3-2. Maybe something a little bit lower, a lower breaking ball, trying to get that double play.
Hoffman takes a check on both base runners. His payoff pitch with the runner from first going. It will not matter, as that is a walk to load up the bases. Hoffman battled back from down 3-0 to make it 3-2, but allows a walk all the same to Goodhart, and Raymond Gill will have the chance to extend his hitting streak to 8 and also drive home a couple of runs.
And it's one thing to see the pitcher get frustrated when he gives up a walk. It's another thing to see Troy Clonch, who was verbal and clearly was upset that there was another walk right over there. Clearly frustrated the battery mates are.
So Raymond Gill, coming off of a 2019 where he racked up 44 RBIs, will take ball 1 inside. Gill on the summer, batting over 300 thanks to that hitting streak that he's on. Emerged as one of the leaders of this team along with Troiani, maybe 2 guys they didn't expect. Has only 5 RBIs on the summer, does have 3 home runs though. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball just barely catches the knees. Looked a little bit low, but good frame job by Clonch.
A little low and potentially outside, but Clonch clearly wants to get this out here and trying to do whatever he can. Don't forget, Raymond Gill had 13 home runs at Miami this year.
He's definitely got some power, and he's got 3 ducks on the pond. The 1-1 from Hoffman. Huge hack on a fastball that caught a chunk of the outside half, and he comes right through it, 1-2. Boy, he was looking to just deposit that one onto Dillingham.
He was just trying to get back to Marklight Field and send one over the wall.
Moretto comes trotting in onto the grass. Here's the 1-2 from Logan Hoffman. Breaking ball just outside. Great block by Troy Clonch. Mentioned his defense has been fantastic all summer long, and that is a game-saving pitch perhaps. If that goes to the backstop, it's 3-0. Things start to spiral out of control.
And that's one thing that Claunch had Adley Rutschman beat on. His defense, he was pretty much spotless when it came to his defensive play at Oregon State.
The 2-2. Inside, and it hit him right on the elbow. Hoffman can't find the strike zone right now, and he has just given up the game's third run, none of them coming on hits.
And I'm just speechless at this point.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot you could say about getting these runners reaching on errors, on walks. It's not even like they've had a lot of hits. They've had 3 runs and 1 hit on the game. It's just been poor defense, poor pitching right now.
It's been mistakes that the Doors pitching have only themselves to blame. Fastball paints the outside corner to Tanner Murray. 8th hitter up on this inning, still only 1 out. Troiani now stands at third, Goodhart at second, Raymond Gill at first base after he was plunked by a pitch. So another RBI on another non-hit. Hoffman's 0-1. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Beautiful. That one went 12-6.
It looked like it curved over the bat almost.
Yeah, it was unreal. Maybe the biggest break that we've seen from a curveball all season long. And he's now got Tanner Murray down 0-2. Here's the pitch. Another breaking ball in the dirt. Claunch has to block. Got to credit the Orleans hitting also for not chasing some of these pitches. I mean, with 2 strikes, that's a pitch you might go after, and somehow Murray is able to lay off. Raymond Gill also saw a couple close pitches. With 2 strikes, he was able to lay off. So it's impressive the eye that they all collectively have. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball up and in.
And it's a little bit easier sometimes for when it's more on the inside pitches rather than going outside. Maybe it's something you like and it will move more outside of the plate. When it's coming in and it feels like it might hit you, it's a natural instinct to think, oh, I'm going to pull back because I don't want to get hurt.
4 straight batters have gotten 2 strikes against them. Only one of them has gotten out, and he gave himself up. Here's the pitch. Fastball fouled back. Hoffman giving his best stuff, but somehow Murray able to fight off what he's seeing and take some pitches as well. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes, with Murray trying to break his 0-for-2 Schneid. Hoffman taking his time with Claunch. Can't quite find agreement. Now they do. The pitch. Breaking ball fouled away yet again.
It seems like the communication between Claunch and Hoffman just hasn't been there this entire inning from this point. And same thing with Robleski, but Robleski was more or less that he couldn't control his pitches. Here it seems like there's some lack of communication between the two.
Tanner Murray coming off of 2019 where he hit .364. Trying to do just that here, but he swings right through the breaking ball. Strike 3. Beautiful curve from Logan Hoffman. He went back to old reliable, and he puts down Murray for the second out of the inning.
That curveball is what they needed this entire inning, and it seems like Hoffman has finally got it down. And it's so lethal to batters. And just right there, you can see it's pretty much unhittable, as you can see Murray just whiffing at it almost every time it's thrown.
So now Eddie McCabe will come up to the plate. The 9th batter on the inning. Orleans has officially batted around, and Hoffman and the Doors trying to keep it at 9. McCabe 0-for-2 with a strikeout and a ground out to his ledger. Right-handed shortstop from Georgetown facing the right-handed Logan Hoffman, and watches a beautiful breaking ball again hit the inside corner.
Logan should just keep on throwing that because the batters are either going to freeze or they're going to swing at it and maybe swing underneath it.
The 0-1. Fly ball into right field, giving chase is Blake Dunn. He's over near the line, and he will make the grab. Logan Hoffman thanking his lucky stars that he's got speedy Blake Dunn in the outfield to track down what otherwise would have been an extra base hit. Orleans scores 3 runs on only 1 hit one error and they strand the bases loaded. It is wild pitches. It is walks that hurt the Commodores, and that's why they've got a 3-0 deficit facing them right now, despite out hitting Orleans 2-1. One thing that we were wondering is why in the world do you pull Carmen Majinski in that instance? I mean, Majinski threw 5 innings, had not allowed a hit, had all those strikeouts. You pull him, and immediately things start to fall apart.
It's just shocking.
Right.
You still can't really focus on it.
Well, luckily for us, we have our third member of our broadcast crew, Katie Florio, here to tell us why Carmen was pulled. Katie.
Thanks, guys, and what a day for Carmen Majinski. Gave up no hits and 5 complete innings pitched. When he came off the field, he said he felt like he could have gone an inning or two longer, but was starting to get sore just from the fact that he hasn't pitched in a while. And it all goes back to the rainouts. Because of that,
Thank you, Katie. So Carmen gets a little bit sore in the middle of this, at the end of that inning, and that's why he decided with Trundy maybe it was his decision to come out of the ball game. And that's the issue that you have with those rainouts. That's something that you mentioned, is that you have that extra rest and you start to feel it a little bit more when you're not. So it's interesting with pitchers is that, too little rest is no bueno, and then too much rest is also no bueno. You got to find that right middle ground, like Goldilocks.
That happy medium.
Exactly. Got to find that happy medium, because another guy, Sam Strickland, mentioned in his latest start he didn't have the best of outings, and he said, I just had too much rest.
Yeah, and multiple rainouts will do that to you.
Right.
And just, it's so hard to get into a groove when you have so many games and you think, oh, I'm supposed to start against Wareham. Oh, I'm supposed to start yesterday against Chatham. And you're getting ready, and then it doesn't happen. And Carmen finally got back out there and was so effective. But I guess he didn't want to push it too far to him maybe saying this could affect another start that I'm going to get into.
Tough to keep that gamesmanship mentality when, like you said, you're expecting to start against Wareham, no dice. You're expecting to start against Chatham, no dice. It's like you wake up every morning expecting something and it doesn't happen. Has a little bit too much rest. His arm isn't used to the type of beating that it takes when you throw 6 innings of work, and that's just what happens as Majinski gets the yank, and then Robleski comes in. Couldn't really get the job done there in the 6th inning. Hoffman, after him, also allowed a run charged against Robleski, because of a couple wild pitches. And after all of that, Orleans has the 3-0 lead. Falmouth trying to battle back. Heart of the order at the plate, Tawa, Clonch, and Deloach. First pitch to Tim Tawa is taken over the outside corner of the plate. No balls, 1 strike.
And at this point, with only 2 hits in the game, just got to focus, take your time at the plate. Maybe try and look at a couple of pitches if they're going to be outside, of course, but really need to just get on a base and try and rally from this point. It's rare to see a game where the opponent has 2 more runs than hits.
The 0-2 sliced foul as we've got a new pitcher out on the bump for Orleans. So maybe a welcome sight for Falmouth, just like it was for Orleans last half inning. It's Connor Pellerin towing the rubber for the Firebirds, as coming out of the game is Noah Skiro. He's on the record for the win after those 3 runs were put up. The 0-2 to Tawa, grounded sharply towards the left side. Third base coach Brett Becker is going to field that one foul.
And Connor, 19-year-old, turning 20 just this month, he will be. He's a righty, 6'3", 210 from Baton Rouge, and he goes to Tulane.
0-2, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Squeezed behind the plate by Avidia. Looked like he dropped it for a second, but he was just jogging out to throw it down to third base, and Tim Tawa goes down a swinging strikeout victim. He's 0 for 3.
And as you were talking about before, when the bullpen came in for the Commodores, it seems like the Commodores have struggled with their bullpen compared to their starters. For Orleans, their pitching staff has been so solid as a whole, and it's just not going to help out as much as it would if it would be the Commodores, who have strong starters, but they don't have that bullpen to support those starters.
It's a good point. You got guys like Franco or guys like Carmen who have been fantastic when they come out, and then you don't have every single piece that fits, whereas Orleans, no matter who they bring in, they're doing pretty spectacularly, as it's quickly 1-1 to Troy Clonch after that swinging strike. Pellerin, you mentioned, from Tulane, coming off of 2019, where he had 21 appearances and an 8.44 ERA. Swing and a miss, strike two. Does not look like a guy with an 8+ ERA right now, as he is working quickly through the heart of the Falmouth order.
If I have it right, in 2018, he played with the Portland Pickles.
Yep, Portland Pickles out in the West Coast League, if I'm not mistaken.
I love some of these other league names because they're just hysterical. And, you know, he didn't have that bad of numbers for the Portland Pickles. 2.8 ERA with 1 save, a 5-1 record.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Couldn't recreate that magic with Tulane this past season, but he's looking sharp right now. The 1-2. Check swing. Yes, he did go around. Troy Clonch strikes out swinging for the second time in a row, and so far Pellerin has been on point.
10th batter to go down on strikes in this game for the Commodores. And it just seems like the bats have not been there throughout the season. It's been so many strikeouts throughout the entire lineup, throughout the entire year. It's not like it was one point where, they were hitting a little bit better and they weren't striking out. The strikeouts have been there for the entire year in this lineup.
So far, 11 strikeouts through 5 2/3 against the Doors. Zach DeLoach watches ball number 1. He has been one of 2 bright spots for Falmouth. He is 1 for 1, reached with a walk in the second and singled in the fourth, both times stranded at second. He now watches ball 2 run too far inside. So DeLoach has been really one of the only bright spots, as I mentioned, for the Doors, with a team. The rest of them haven't been getting on base, have been striking out a ton. He's got hits in back-to-back-to-back games now. 3 straight for DeLoach. Grounds this one just up and over the glove of Raymond Gill at first base. And yet again, for the 3rd straight inning, Falmouth has a 2-out base runner. That one is ruled a hit as Gill was getting ready to field it on a backhand. Took a weird hop off of the lip of the grass. Got to think, not used to that position. Takes a funky hop. Never going to be a successful play.
It came off a little bit slower. Came off on a weird hop from the grass, and that ball clearly had eyes because it completely avoided Raymond Gill's glove.
Steven Moretto now will be the hitter. He is the second bright spot in this Falmouth lineup this ball game. He has a single and a walk in that order, both times stranded at first base. First pitch he sees. Downstairs, skits away, and now DeLoach is going to be in scoring position after that wild pitch, so maybe Falmouth with some business going on here with 2 outs in the 6th.
And another base runner advancing into scoring position. A huge spot for Steven Moretto, who has been clutch early on in the year. Numbers don't show it, but he went on a 3 RBI streak, so he had 3 straight games with RBIs. Huge time for Steven Moretto to have this opportunity and potentially score a run here.
He's got a runner in scoring position. Now the 3rd runner to reach second base every single time. It has been Zach DeLoach. 1-1 now the count to Moretto, who just a couple innings ago broke his 1 for 13 stretch. I mentioned how he was clutch early on. He had 4 RBIs in his first 4 games played. Since then, he's got none. A chance to do some damage here. Checks his swing. He went around, says home plate umpire Tim Carey, and at the very least, you got to appeal to first, right?
Yeah, there was no appeal right there, and definitely should have been an appeal.
Yeah, it looked like he might have held up the swing on a ball in the dirt, but nonetheless, 1-2 now the count to Moretto. The rising junior out of Sacramento State. Watches a pitch outside. He definitely checks that swing. Count runs even.
And Moretto from Sacramento State, another Commodore from Sacramento State, former Commodore, Reese Hoskins. And head coach Reggie Christensen did coach Reese Hoskins because of that relationship helped Steven Moretto get this spot here in Falmouth.
Sure, Steven would like to channel his inner Reese right now. The 2-2 from Pellerin. Downstairs, ball 3. So full count, 2 outs, and DeLoach on second in a 3-0 ball game in favor of the Firebirds. Steven Moretto without an RBI since the first 10th of the season, basically.
And it's crazy to think that we've only played 12 games. This is game number 13 here.